Hey guys, Rick here with the Bonnaroo 2023 Festival Review. So Bonnaroo happens in Nashville, Tennessee area, Manchester, Tennessee actually. And it's a mixed genre festival with EDM, hip hop, rock, metal, all of it, country. It's also a heavily emphasized camping festival, so let's get started with the review. So this was my first Bonnaroo and I also went ahead and did the camping. For the event security, I have to give it a 0 unfortunately, and in my opinion. Security is in the staff working the event. It did have metal detectors, didn't pat down at all, which a lot of events don't do anyways, but I was able to sneak in alcohol a couple times, pretty much every night actually, and while that's great for me, obviously, it's still kind of scary considering what happened at the Beyond Festival in Washington that same day. Also, I met this drifter, this girl that was hitchhiking. She got there hitchhiking and she confessed to me she walked right into the event. She didn't have a wristband and I saw her 3 times, so yeah. Also, the majority didn't know anything about the event, like where anything was, any of the stages, even in the camping. 0 for the event security, in my opinion. The event bar gets a half a point, in my opinion. The prices weren't too bad, as you could see. I'm guessing because of the cost of living there, it's a little bit cheaper out there than like LA or New York, for example. The only problem is that they did run out of the good things there. You could see on the menu back there what we had, but they ended up going pretty fast, the good stuff. Half a point overall. For the event amenities, I give it a half a point. Like I said, an okay beer selection. They got some food, some good food here and there, as you could see here. In my opinion, it didn't have the most exciting art installations like other festivals. They had the majority of actual bathrooms for the guests, even the regular admission. The only problem with that was that they were limited and there was a big line. So much so that guys just started peeing across the bathroom door, the exit, on the grass. And by day 4, all this human waste smelled god awful. They also did have enough water installations. Other is yours truly showing off his shirt from the first night. That's myself there. That being said, not the worst amenities, not the best. Half a point for the event amenities. Now the event lineup definitely gets a full point, a very strong full point. I absolutely love the diversity in the lineup. Everything was perfect. They had some big names like Kendrick Lamar. They had Lil Nas X. They had Odessa. They had the Foo Fighters, Paramore. Just very big names in different genres. Korn even. AFI, a lot of childhood bands I used to like. They even had country like this neighbor band here I came across. They weren't that bad actually. Me not being a country fan, I definitely did enjoy this performance. Full point overall for the event lineup, like I said. The event vibe, the plurness, even though it's not a full rave, I'm gonna give it a half a point. It's a little tricky. I will say that people were relatively friendly, not the friendliest, but not exactly the worst. There's a homegirl having a little after effects after drinking a little too much. I will say this is probably the hardest time I've had making friends at an event, especially at the campsite. Everybody was trapped in their own little world with their own little group, which is fine, nothing wrong with that, of course. I did see some almost fights that didn't materialize, but again, not the best vibe in my opinion. Not the worst, but not the best. It was fun, everybody saying happy Roo to each other, Half a point overall again for the vibe, the plurness in my opinion. There is some mighty AFI, I grew up loving this band back in the day. For the event safety, I do have to give it a full point, strong full point. Even though the security wasn't the best in my opinion, it was safe. I will definitely not complain about that. Another reason for the full point is because you don't deal with the theft like you do in the West Coast here in my opinion, which I absolutely love. I not once felt threatened with my phone being stolen or pickpocketed, so that's always great, I loved it. Of course, unfortunately, there is always some incidents. I met a gentleman who they stole his phone, but the theft is nowhere near the scale of a rave like EDC or anything in SoCal, from what I've seen from where I'm from. Put it this way, I was a little shocked that everybody was with their fanny pack, the one that Bonnaroo gave them, the little green one, the little plastic one. It was clear and you could see that everybody had their most important belongings there, and in LA that wouldn't fly, unfortunately, or even Vegas. Sometimes it is a little embarrassing that I'm the only one in the East Coast wearing the fanny pack with the lock, overprotective because of back home. Some guys were even taking naps with their phone without any lock on their stomach, I saw. That was crazy. Full point for safety overall and feeling safe. For the event attendees, I'm gonna give it a half a point. Again, it's very hard to quantify this category. I try to go based on the diversity of the crowd, and in my opinion, if they were relatively attractive or not like myself, lol. That is to say, not attractive like myself, lol. That being said, I would say half of the crowd was beautiful looking guys, ladies, all that. Half of the crowd was more average people looking like myself. But most importantly for me is the diversity, or lack thereof. It was literally probably 80% Caucasian people, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love my Caucasian brothers and sisters. Just being Hispanic myself, I love diversity, whether it be more Hispanic people like myself or African American people, Asian people, etc. There were some which combined it probably made up 20% of the rest of the crowd. Also, I will say it was definitely LGBTQ friendly. They even had events honoring Pride Month all day throughout the weekend. So for those reasons, half a point for the crowd attendees, in my opinion. Now, this is what I was talking about as far as the bathrooms and people losing patience with the amenities. Let me tell you, by Sunday, that smelled god awful. It was probably a health risk by the time I was done. And again, I feel like I must add this category because a lot of my friends that don't go to festivals always ask me this. And I'm sure a lot of potential festival goers would like to know. And I'm curious to know what you think about that. That being said, for hookup chances, if you're a guy, I have to give it a surprising half a point. Girls, you obviously can meet a guy anywhere you want, so I'm talking about guys here. But yeah, we'll say your chances are good here actually. This is the old girl pit that Shaq requested. But anyway, yes, yours truly had luck all day making new lady friends, getting IGs, numbers, etc. And even got to bond with a couple of them a little more extra, but unfortunately, they had their male friends that were always overprotective, which I understand, but that's why it's a half a point. Also, a lot of the ladies do have boyfriends or in couples, girlfriends, etc. That being said, I got to meet up with a lady I met at the festival in Nashville the following Tuesday after I met her, and we definitely had a good time. In short, you might meet some nice ladies there, but you would have to meet up with them at some other point and get to know them better that way because it won't happen at the festival. But half a point overall for the hookup chances for your male. There is the Mighty Corn, another band that was one of my favorite ones growing up. It was probably the best set in my opinion of the weekend. For the venue location, I have to give it a half a point. It's a little tricky. The venue itself was cool. The farm, it was very spacious. It was very well preserved. It was perfect for a festival, really. But the negatives were that it was too hot. It was muggy. It was humid. It rained like crazy a couple times. It was just kind of weird. Also, in my opinion, the layout was very confusing with the stages, that this stage, that stage. I'm sure they find it comical, but when you're lit, you just don't really pay attention to that. And it's really confusing. Also, the campgrounds were so confusing. It took me an hour each night. I never quite figured it out till the last day. It's just too confusing in my opinion. Half a point overall for the venue because of that and the location. Half a point. There's the Mighty Paramore, also another great band I grew up with. Great performance, one of the best all weekend. There's yours truly showing off his shirt from one of the event nights. I got some compliments, shared some laughs, good times. Finally, for the event price, the bang for your buck category, I will definitely give it a full point. It does carry a price tag of about $4.50, and I definitely do believe it's worth it. The lineup they brought, the diversity, like I said, it was great. And they definitely had some heavy hitters in the lineup. Some of those artists like Kendrick Lamar, Paramore, even Foo Fighters, Subtronics, you're paying about $150, $250 even to watch them at their shows. Some of the big names alone are worth the price of the admission here. That being said, definitely a full point for the bang for your buck category. Well guys, there you have it. If you've been keeping score of the event, Bonnaroo scored a 6 out of 10 overall on my scale. It's a decent score, it's an unbiased score. I had a blast, I would definitely recommend it regardless. I'm just trying to be unbiased. If it wasn't for a few hiccups, it would be a perfect festival in my opinion. But again, I would still recommend it, especially if you're in the area. This is probably one of the best festivals in the South. On a side note, my favorite sets included Kendrick Lamar, Subtronics, Korn was probably the best in my opinion. I enjoyed AFI, Shaq was good, Foo Fighters, Paramore, etc. This is some of the rain I spoke of during the Foo Fighters set. Well guys, thank you so much for checking out this unbiased festival review of Bonnaroo. Don't forget to follow and I will keep posting some great content of festivals, raves, travel, etc. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed it.